Good morning, dear students. Today we can discuss about the next DRAM or the next dynamic RAM, that is synchronous dynamic RAM. Already in the previous video we had discussed about the asynchronous DRAM. What are static RAM, static memories, then what are dynamic memories, dynamic RAM, and what are the classification of dynamic RAM. First one is asynchronous DRAM and other one is synchronous DRAM. All these are discussed in previous class. So here we can discuss about the synchronous DRAM. So synchronous DRAM is a dynamic RAM. RAM is random access memory. DRAM means dynamic random access memory. In static memory, as long as the power is applied, its states are retained. But in the case of dynamic RAM or dynamic memories, periodic refreshment is there, dynamically changing the state. So there are two main classifications for the dynamic RAM: asynchronous DRAM and synchronous DRAM. So in synchronous DRAM, all the operations in the synchronous DRAM is controlled by a clock signal. So here in the synchronous DRAM, we have row address latch, column address latch, and there is a refresh counter. There will be a read-write circuits and latches, and they will be connected to input-output data registers. There is also a row decoder as well as column decoder for decoding the address of row address as well as the column address. So by using the row and column address, we can access the cell array with the help of read and write circuit latches. Clear? So in the synchronous DRAM, നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റാറ്റിക് മെമ്മറീസ് നോക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതുപോലെ ഡൈനാമിക് മെമ്മറീസിൻ്റെ രണ്ട് ക്ലാസിഫിക്കേഷനാണ്, സിങ്ക്രണസ് ആൻഡ് അസിങ്ക്രണസ്. അസിങ്ക്രണസ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ എടുത്തു. ഇതിൽ നമ്മുടെ സിങ്ക്രണസ് DRAM എന്താണെന്നാണ് നോക്കുന്നത്. DRAM എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഡൈനാമിക് റാം എന്നാണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. സിങ്ക്രണസ് DRAMൻ്റെ കേസിൽ ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ഒരു ക്ലോക്ക് സിഗ്നലാണ് എല്ലാ ഓപ്പറേഷൻസും ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. But in the case of asynchronous one, there won't be any clock. Okay. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എന്താ ഉള്ളത്? നമ്മുടെ മെമ്മറി സെൽ അറേനെ ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ നമുക്ക് റീഡ് റൈറ്റ് സർക്യൂട്ടിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഹെൽപ്പ് ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ അഡ്രസ് ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. ഈ അഡ്രസ് ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് റോ അഡ്രസ് ആൻഡ് കോളം അഡ്രസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് by using the row address latch as well as the column address latch. അതിനെ ഡീകോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ, അഡ്രസ് ഡീകോഡിംഗ് പർപ്പസിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് റോ അഡ്രസ് ഡീകോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി റോ ഡീകോഡറും കോളം അഡ്രസ് ഡീകോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി കോളം ഡീകോഡറും ഉണ്ട്. ദർ വിൽ ബി എ റിഫ്രഷ് കൗണ്ടർ is attached with the row address latch or the address latch. Okay. Also there will be a mode register and timing control is there, and they can accept the inputs like clock, RAS, row address stop signal, column address stop signal, that is CAS bar, read or write signal, chip select signal. All are the inputs to mode register and timing control. So there is a timing control here to control all the operations. So there is a need of clock signal for controlling all the operations in the case of synchronous DRAM. So this is the SDRAM burst read of length 4 clock cycles and their actions. So based on a particular time period, all the actions are handled out. So first signal which is given by the clock signal, then read or write signal. RAS stands for the row address stop signal and CAS a column address stop signal, and there will be address latch as well as the data signal can be used for representing the burst read of length 4 in SDRAM. Okay. So these are all about the synchronous DRAM. And what do you mean by latency and bandwidth when we consider about the memory? and the speed and efficiency of the data transfer among the memory and the processor and the disk have a large impact on the performance of the system. So memory latency means it is the amount of time that it is used to take to transfer a word of data to or from the memory. മെമ്മറിയിൽ നിന്നോ മെമ്മറിയിലേക്കോ ഒരു വേർഡ് ഓഫ് ഡാറ്റ ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാൻ എടുക്കുന്ന ടൈമിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ മെമ്മറി ലേറ്റൻസി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. മെമ്മറി ബാൻഡ്വിഡ്ത്ത് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എത്രമാത്രം ബിറ്റ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബൈറ്റ്സ് that can be transferred in 1 second. ഒരു സെക്കൻഡിൽ എത്ര ബിറ്റ് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നു അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എത്ര ബൈറ്റ് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിനെയാണ് bandwidth എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. These are the two main parameters that is used for analyzing the memory capacity of a system, that is latency as well as the bandwidth. So what is the use of memory controller when we are considering the memory system? So we have a memory as well as a processor within a system. Processor is used for computational purpose and memory is used for storage purpose. And how they are connected or how they are interconnected, or what is the relationship between the processor and memory, and if there is any intermediate between this processor and the memory. Yes, there is an intermediate between the processor and the main memory, that is memory controller, which control all the operations between the processor and the memory. Clear? So between the processor and the memory we have 4 signals, that is address signals that is generated by the processor and they are given to memory controller. Also read by write control signal that is also generated by the control unit of the processor and will be sent to the memory controller. And there is a request signal for requesting some memory operations, and also there is a clock signal. So along with this, from the memory controller to memory, there are a large number of there are a number of control signals are there, that is row or column address is there, that will be stopped by row address stop as well as the column address stop, and read write signal is the chip select signal, also clock. Here read write signal and clock signal, which is coming from the signal that is from processor, and the address which is separated into row address as well as the column address. So this is the use of memory controller. That means these memory controller can connect the processor with the memory. Okay, it is actually an intermediate between the processor and memory, or it is the controller which is used for memory operations. Clear? So these are all about synchronous DRAM and the use of memory controller within a system. Thank you.